Do you believe in werewolves? Tonight, we have 4 chilling stories from people who claim to have seen something that shouldn't exist. This is Lord of Limbo. Turn off the lights, and let's begin. Story 1, Michelle. My name is Michelle, and this happened in the winter of 2016. I was driving back from my sister's house late at night, around 2 a.m. She lives in a more rural area, and I had to take one of those long, winding roads with nothing but trees and the occasional farmhouse every few miles. No streetlights. Just the headlights and the darkness swallowing everything outside of them. It had started snowing lightly, just enough to blur the road markings and silence everything. I wasn't in a rush. I had music playing softly, and I was just focusing on the road. Then, something ran across it. I slammed the brakes and skidded slightly. At first, I thought it was a deer. But when I looked again, this thing was still visible on the side of the road, staring back at me. It was on all fours, massive, bigger than any dog or wolf I've ever seen. The fur was dark and coarse, almost patchy, and its limbs looked too long. Disjointed. Wrong. But what made me freeze was the way it locked eyes with me. The headlights lit up its face just enough. The snout looked canine, but the eyes were unmistakably human. There was an expression on its face, not animal fear or aggression, but something like curiosity. Or recognition. It stood there for maybe 5 seconds before it moved again. But this time, it didn't run off. It stood up. It actually stood up on 2 legs. Clumsy at first, like it wasn't used to it, but then steady, towering, its shoulders hunched. I could see the steam of its breath in the cold. Then it turned and walked back into the woods. I didn't sleep that night. And for months afterward, I avoided that road completely. I never saw it again, but I always felt like it had seen me. Story 2, Simon. My name is Simon. I work in forestry, so I'm used to seeing strange things in the woods. But there's one night I can't explain, and honestly, I don't like talking about it. We were doing an overnight survey deep into an old forest area. There were 3 of us, setting up trail cameras and collecting data on wildlife movement. The plan was to camp for one night and finish the perimeter checks in the morning. At around 1 a.m., I stepped out of the tent to take a leak. It was quiet, too quiet. No wind. No bugs. No usual rustling from raccoons or squirrels. Just dead silence. I felt that pressure, the one where your instincts scream that something's watching. I turned around, and about 20 feet from our tent, there was something standing there. I thought it was a bear at first, but it was standing too upright. The silhouette was all wrong. It had a narrow waist, long arms, and a hunched back. The head was low, like it was sniffing the air. Then it made this sound, a low, vibrating growl that I felt more in my chest than in my ears. I couldn't move. It just stood there for a while, then lowered to all fours and sprinted off, impossibly fast. Gone in seconds. The next morning, we found the trail camera closest to that spot had been torn clean off the tree. Not like it had fallen. The metal strap was ripped apart. I didn't report it. What was I supposed to say? That I saw something that doesn't make sense? I still work in the same job. But I don't camp anymore. Ever. Story 3, Shaw. I'm Shaw. I was 19 when this happened. My friends and I were doing what a lot of dumb teenagers do, hiking places we probably shouldn't have been. There was this old abandoned mine outside town, deep in the woods. Supposedly sealed off, but we found a way in. We spent the day exploring, taking pictures, trying to scare each other. Typical stuff. As the sun started going down, we made our way back to the car. But about halfway through the trail, we heard something behind us. It sounded like footsteps, but wrong. Like claws on stone. Then we heard a howl. Not a coyote. Not a dog. It was deeper, guttural. Like something angry and in pain. We started running, laughing nervously, still half convinced someone was trying to prank us. But it kept following. getting closer. Then one of my friends tripped, and we all stopped. That's when we saw it. It stepped out from behind a tree, huge, at least 7 feet tall, hunched over, with matted fur and arms that reached almost to the ground. The face, it wasn't just an animal. It had a mouth full of teeth, and eyes that looked almost intelligent, but dead inside. We froze. It didn't chase us. It just watched. Then it let out this horrible sound, like a scream and a roar combined, and bolted into the trees. We never told anyone. Not really. Who'd believe us? But I still go back sometimes. I don't know why. Maybe part of me needs to see it again. Or maybe I just want to prove I wasn't crazy. Story 4, Tommy. My name is Tommy. I don't believe in monsters. Or I didn't. This was back in 2021. I had taken a week off and rented a cabin in the mountains, one of those places meant for people who want total silence. No neighbors, no signal, just trees and quiet. It was perfect. Until the third night. I had a fire going outside and was just sitting back in one of those folding chairs, sipping something and looking at the stars. Then I heard branches cracking, slow, heavy steps. I figured it was a bear, so I grabbed my flashlight and shined it toward the treeline. There were eyes reflecting back at me. Not high like a bear, higher. And closer together. They blinked. Then it stepped into view. I swear to God, it looked like a wolf that had stood up like a man. Muscular, but thin. Covered in black and gray fur. Its head was massive, and it had these long hands, not paws, but hands, hanging by its side. Its chest rose and fell like it had just been running. It didn't move toward me. It just stared. I backed up into the cabin slowly, locked the door, turned off the lights, and didn't sleep a second that night. Around 4 a.m., I heard scratching on the wall outside. Long, slow drags. Then nothing. The next morning, I found prints in the dirt. Not human. Not quite animal either. Huge. Spread out, like something with weight and balance. I packed and left that day. Cut the trip short. I haven't been camping since. Whether you believe in werewolves or not, something out there is stalking the edges of our understanding. 4 people. 4 encounters. And no clear answers. If you've ever seen something you can't explain, you're not alone. This is Lord of Limbo. Thanks for watching, and whatever you do, don't ignore the things that watch from the dark.